And me.
Okay. Have you ever been late for an appointment because you were frantically searching for your keys and you didn't know where you had left them? Or at 3:15 in the afternoon that you had received a phone call from your child's school with them informing you that you had forgotten your child and she was the only one there? I have done this. Well, we have all done things like this throughout our lives, and we always will. But imagine this. Imagine that you not only know where your keys are, you can't find them, but that you've forgotten what keys even were. Or that the person that is sitting next to you having a conversation that you have never met before in your life is actually your husband or wife, your father or son. Husband or wife, daughter or son, and you have no memory of them. That's hard to imagine, isn't it? Well, the thing is that according to Amaranth.com, 5 million Americans over the age of 65 and 200,000 under the age of 65, this is their reality every day. They have no memory, or they are progressively losing it. Okay. Anyway, in the next few minutes, I would like to talk to you about Alzheimer's, because this is what these people suffer from, and explain to you what it is, the signs and symptoms of the disease, and finally, the role of the caretaker. First of all, the definition of Alzheimer's is that it's a type of dementia, which is a loss of intellectual function. It causes a problem with memory, thinking, and behavior. They have found, They have found that 10 years prior to any signs and symptoms, the damage to the brain is actually beginning. So the people walk around looking symptom-free, and they think they are, but they're actually, their brain is suffering irreparable damage. The first happening of Alzheimer's was in 1906, according to Alzheimer's Foundation of America, and it was by a Dr. Alois Alzheimer's. He had a female patient at the age of 51, and she had what they called then a rare brain disorder. It wasn't until after her death that they were able to do an autopsy and realize that her brain was significantly smaller. It had atrophied and shrunk than a normal healthy brain. Okay, there are 3 different types or stages of Alzheimer's, full of signs and symptoms. I'm going to tell you about the signs and symptoms of them now. They vary from person to person. So I'm going to use my Nana as our model because she has Alzheimer's, and I deal with her in my everyday life, so she's going to be our guide. So in 2008 is when she first started showing signs of Alzheimer's. Oh, there's Dr. Alois, sorry. Okay. In 2008 is when she first started showing signs of her symptoms. It started with things like forgetting birthdays or holidays. She couldn't write her checks anymore. Normally she hid it pretty well because she had my Poppy to do all of her daily things for her. So it was never really noticeable, and she's able to fake it pretty well. Anyway, the thing that I remember the most with her was that she kept repetitive questions. And she was very aware of it, and she would sit there and she would say, "I'm sorry, I've probably already asked you this, but..." And then she would, of course, ask whatever question it was she had already asked 10 times. Now, before I go to the moderate stage, keep in mind that everybody's symptoms are different. You know, they might have some in mild that others have in moderate, vice versa. So the line between the stages is actually kind of blurry. When Nana went into moderate stage, it was probably around 2012. She got to where she could no longer drive, read a book. She couldn't play with Allison anymore. She couldn't follow a recipe because she couldn't focus on one task long enough. She has become very good at hiding things. She hides things in very unusual places. She's afraid that somebody is going to not necessarily take them. You know, she's very suspicious and paranoid. Confusion is definitely her main thing, that she loves Glen Campbell. Okay, so my mom plans a trip to Branson with my poppy, my mom, and my Nana, and they're going to go see Glen Campbell, who ironically enough has Alzheimer's himself, to watch him in his final tour that he's doing with his children. Anyway, so they go, they have a good time. When they get back, Mom's unloaded her stuff out of their car. She's standing outside telling them goodbye, and all of a sudden my Nana says, "Oh, I am so excited about our trip." So my mom and my poppy, they don't say anything. They just kind of look at each other, and they're just, Nana gets this look on her face, and then just starts laughing, and she says, "Oh, we've already went, haven't we?" So, I mean, she's able to have a lot of humor with her illness, which is a good thing because not all Alzheimer's patients do. So we're very fortunate in that because it's not always a laughing matter. Other symptoms that she doesn't seem to have. She doesn't have a lot of mood swings. They can also suffer from depression, fear, anxiety. She hasn't had any of those problems. She does, one of the main rules of Alzheimer's is that they tell you not to take them out of their environment because they're in their safe haven. It's what they know, so they remember longer. And 2 months ago, I believe that her symptoms started to worsen because she had to move into my mother's guest house. So when she did, everything got worse. She started forgetting more. She started forgetting us. Okay. The only person she's never forgotten is my poppy, but she did tell my mom last week that she said, you know, she says, I want you to know that I am forgetting you. Next is the severe stage, and fortunately we haven't reached that point, but we will. This is when they really need care. They have full-time 24-hour care. They need help with everything, their meals, dressing and bathing, anything. If they have a pet, taking care of their pet, they can no longer do anything. They start to withdraw completely, which my Nana has started doing that, but they can't find the right word anymore. And then eventually, in the severe state, they stop using words altogether and they withdraw into themselves. They reach the point to where they don't, their physical abilities, they can no longer walk, sit, swallow, which creates a huge problem. They're very prone to, they're susceptible. Their immune system goes down. So respiratory infections especially are dangerous. That's all on that part. So anyway, what happens is that their brain eventually forgets to tell their organs to function, and so their body slowly shuts down and they die. Now, okay, that I've discussed the signs and symptoms, I want to, oh my goodness, hang on. Different phases of Nana. Okay, moderate stage, severe stage. There's my Alzheimer's projection chart. Okay, now my caregiver tips. Okay. It's important to educate yourself about their disease. I mean, you want to know as much as you possibly can. You want to advocate for them. You want to talk to their physicians, caregivers, anybody that is involved in their life or medical care. You have to take over their finances. You have to take all that up. You have to take that over and make sure that they're okay. You have to avoid caregiver burnout. This is probably one of the most important because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of them. So, you know, you need to provide time for yourself. Don't forget to connect with them. Compassion is a wonderful thing. The kisses, the hugs, the telling them I love you, that's like their final connection to you. And then, I guess that's about it on that. So I hope that everything that we've discussed today, you can walk away with knowing just a little bit more about Alzheimer's, the signs and symptoms, and how to take care of yourself as a caregiver.